Why is my puff puff not stretchy? Why is my puff puff too black? Why is my puff puff not round? Why is it that when I fry my puff puff, some of them don't cook properly on the inside? It's a bit raw on the inside. Where am I getting it wrong? All these are more are the questions we are going to be answering in this video. And plus, I'm going to be giving you tips that will help you solve all these problems. So stick around. Now, let's know our puff puff ingredients. The ingredients you use for your puff puff are usually your flour, butter, yeast, sugar, salt, and vegetable oil for frying. For the yeast, we are conversant with two, which is the instant yeast and active dry yeast, though there are more, but that one does not concern us for now. Now, tip number 1, you don't need too much yeast in your puff puff, and your yeast must be active. You don't need too much yeast. Too much yeast in your puff puff will make your puff puff to become too light and become flat like akara. For your instant yeast, you add it directly to your flour, while your active dry yeast, you proof in warm water, and after 10 minutes, you add it into your puff puff. The inactive dry yeast, you can easily know when it is bad because if it doesn't proof, you can discard. But for your instant yeast, you may not know, so you may need to check the expiring date and make sure that the pack of your instant yeast is not opened from the store you bought it from. That will keep you on the safe side. Now, adding too much yeast to your puff puff will not only spoil your puff puff, it will make your batter too light and it will make it feel like akara after frying. That's why your puff puff is flat. Now, for your active dry yeast, if it doesn't proof like this after 10 minutes before adding it into your flour, then my dear, it is bad. You need to discard. If you use the right amount of yeast, your puff puff batter should come out looking like this and it will be easy for you to fry. So make sure you do not add too much yeast to your puff puff. There is a video where I put measurements for various quantity of flour, the amount of ingredients you use for your puff puff. You can check that out. It will be of great help to you and prevent you from adding too much yeast to your batter. Tip number 2. Don't add too much sugar to your puff puff recipe. Contrary to popular opinion, puff puff needs sugar. I know, because yeast used to eat sugar, I know that's what they told you. But my dear, adding too much yeast to your puff puff is one of the reasons why your puff puff comes out black. It doesn't look as vibrant like what you can see here. Yeast is important, but too much of that, sugar is important, but too much of it is not going to help your puff puff either. It's going to make it look too black and unappealing. If you are making puff puff for your family, fine. But if it is for business, my dear, nobody wants to buy an ugly puff puff. People want puff puff that looks this bright and appealing like this. So you do not need too much sugar. The accurate amount of sugar is what you need. And the video at the end screen is going to answer all that questions about your measurements of ingredients for your various puff puff recipe. Tip number 3, don't add too much water to your batter. This is where the problem is. People are usually confused. How much water do I need to my batter? Oh, I'm confused. I would have loved to give you the accurate amount of water you add to your various quantity of recipe, but my dear, we use different kind of flour, so it may not work for everybody. But I will advise to add your water a little bit until your batter is this thick and stretchy. Make sure your batter is as thick as possible. Don't get scared, because after covering your batter and allowing it to proof for an hour or so, your batter will come out looking lighter than the way it was before you covered it to proof. So it's going to just be at the right consistency before frying. So how do you take care of water? Add your water a little bit until you get a batter that is as thick as possible. Don't pour your water as if you are going to swim. Be careful while adding water to your batter. Once your batter is thick enough in your finger, then you can cover and allow it to proof, then go on out to fry. Tip number 4. It is not a must to add butter, milk, eggs, and vegetable oil to your puff puff. I know you are like, huh? I know you have watched lots of YouTube videos and they use milk to make their puff puff. It's fine, that is their method, but I'm just telling you that it is not enough. It is not a must. If you are making puff puff for your family, you can add all the mede you want to add. That's fine by you. But my dear, if you are using it for business, it no go work. Too much vegetable oil into your puff puff or too much butter will make your puff puff not to be stretchy. I know you want that catapult kind of puff puff. That's the original puff puff. One way to get it is to minimize the amount of vegetable oil or butter, or even to skip out the butter and vegetable oil altogether. I know you are wondering, will that work? My dear, it will work. And I will show you a recipe which I've done that way. I did not put butter, I did not put vegetable oil in this puff puff recipe. The puff puff was stretchy and it came out fine. So it's not a must. You can add butter and vegetable oil and milk or whatever you want to add. But if you're adding butter and vegetable oil, make sure you add very little. That video on the end screen also will show you the measurement of butter and vegetable oil you should add to your puff puff if you must. Tip number 5, fry on consistently medium heat. This one, that's where the wahala is, so because if the oil is not hot enough, there's trouble. And if it is too hot, there's also trouble. So you must be careful. After you've gone through all the wahala, you're cutting your puff into your oil. Make sure you use sufficient oil, or make sure you deep fry. Make sure your fry pan has space. And make sure you fry on consistently medium heat. That is the temperature, not high heat, medium heat. I know people will tell you high heat. High heat, it will rush the cooking of your puff. Your puff will be black on the outside, while the inside will be raw. That's why you have puff that does not cook well. You fry on consistently medium heat. When you cut your puff into the oil using the eye gouge method or whatever method you want to use to cut it, your puff will not be round. But as long as it is consistently fried on medium heat, it's going to become round altogether while you turn immediately. So when you stir your puff immediately, it should be on medium heat. If you cut the first batch of your puff into your puff or into the oil like the first one, and it browns too easily or very fast, add more vegetable oil or reduce the heat. You should fry on consistently medium heat. I don't know how to explain that one to you, but that's how much I can explain. The more you practice, the better you become at it. So don't worry. With these tips I've told you, I hope it will be of great help to you. Then once you cut your puff into the oil, make sure you stir immediately and make sure your heat is consistently at the same temperature, medium heat, so that your puff will cook gradually and look this beautiful like what you can see here. And at the end of the day, you can beat your chest and say, yes, I know how to make correct, stretchy puff recipe. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Do like, share, and subscribe. I don't know if these puff tips have been of help to you. If it has, comment and share this video. Thumbs up now so that YouTube will continue to push our video. See you next time. Good to have you here. Bye-bye.